welcome to the Dennis Prager Show. And we will be having the male-female hour next hour. Life will go on, and if there is anything to report, needless to say, I will do so. But there is still a number of things to be said about Boston. And here is where my thinking is as of this moment. And please understand that I understand, and you should understand, this is my thinking. There is no certitude, but we're permitted to think. If you see evidence that leads to something, you are allowed to suspect that it might be that something. It doesn't mean that it is. But with all the reading that I have done, and I'm sure that you have done, and presumably television news watching, but I just don't know, I rely 96.4% on reading and 3.6% on viewing. And it appears that there is, first of all, this is incontrovertible, there is a great deal of use of pressure cookers in the Middle East and surrounding areas by Islamist terrorists. This is the cheapest and easiest device to cause as much death and mayhem as one can. So that's number one. Number two, on the Al-Qaeda website, run apparently by an American in Yemen, who is, I assume he's a convert. I just don't know. Look him up. I'd be very curious. In any event, he's an American citizen, and he lives in Yemen and hides in Yemen, presumably. And it's a flashy website, and it's done in American vernacular because he's an American citizen, obviously knows English the way we speak it. And there are directions and there are calls for ways in which to slaughter as many people as possible. I will read to you some of those. This is, it borders on the unbelievable that somebody who has lived in America among Americans would then direct people in the name of religion to kill as many American men, women, and children and maim as many of them as possible. We treat people nicely here. You have to be, I won't say sick because then it renders it a psychopathological issue, but and that reduces the level of evil. To have lived amongst us and then want to slaughter us, it's a level of evil that you don't encounter much in history, because we're not the other to these people. So here is an example. This is from CNN. The second edition of an online Al-Qaeda magazine has surfaced with frank essays, creatively designed imagery, and ominous terror tips, such as using a pickup truck as a weapon and shooting up a crowded restaurant in Washington. The magazine, intelligence officials believe that an American citizen named Samir Khan, now living in Yemen, let's look this guy up, is the driving force behind the publication. An article titled "The Ultimate Mowing Machine" calls for using a pickup truck as a, quote, mowing machine not to mow grass, but to mow down the enemies of Allah. It said a four-wheel drive pickup truck is needed. The stronger, the better. Quote, to achieve maximum carnage, you need to pick up as much speed as you can while still retaining good control of your vehicle in order to maximize your inertia and be able to strike as many people as possible in your first run. Do we have a precedent for this sort of thing? Boy, I'll tell you, I'm not my theology and my own personal beliefs don't believe in a literal devil. But I have to say, I have never mocked those who believe in the devil. Because, frankly, it's as good an explanation as any for the truly evil. Look, my explanation, or semi, which is 90% but not 100% serious, is that there are two species of humans. Humans who can't imagine doing this and humans who revel in this sort of thing. So, I don't know how you explain these people. You walk through life under the assumption that the human conscience has a certain universality. That weakness will cause people to do bad things, to sin, etc., etc. But it appears that the conscience here is not only dulled but twisted. Next one. Another tip in the magazine includes the use of firearms. This is all from CNN, incidentally. For this, choose the best location. A random hit at a crowded restaurant in Washington, D.C. at lunch hour, for example, might end up knocking out a few government employees. You can tell from the English that it's an American, speaking about lunch hour and so on. It's just, so that's why I want to find out more about this Samir Khan.
Well, it can't be Samir Khan.
It can't be Samir Khan? No. Why is that?
Because he was killed with
al-Awlaki? He was killed with al-Awlaki? That's interesting.
Yeah,
Oh, you're right, because this is actually an old piece from CNN. You're right. This predates his being killed. So I wonder who's editing it now.